You're listening to the Tony Conley Morning Show, more compelling talk radio, 1320 WYLS and 1320WYLS.com. Rich Hurl here with you, filling in for Tony as we head on out to the McLaren Health Plan phone line and talk with Clark Hodges. He's a 1320 WYLS and Fox News Radio financial strategist. Good morning, Clark. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
We're going to talk a little bit about spending here in the wake of these lower gas prices, not just here in Michigan, but across the country. What's spending like these days with the prices dropping big time at the pump?
Well, you know, a lot of Americans, I'd say most Americans, when they get a little extra money in their pocket, they spend it somewhere else. I don't think, by and large, they're saving the money that they're saving on gas. And so with this time of year being the holidays, I'm positive that Christmas spending was up. But going forward, you're going to have restaurants and movie theaters and retail and airlines and travel industry. Those all are going to benefit from most Americans having more money in their pocket just because gas prices have come down so much.
What about in terms of spending money, you know, say splurging, if you will, at the mall or at the restaurants, in comparison with paying off debt? Are more people doing one than the other?
I think more people are splurging. The time of year is a factor in that. You've got men like me who procrastinate when it comes to gift buying, and you're at the last minute. You think, what am I going to buy? And you splurge on something really nice for your wife or what have you because you've not planned well and you've got a little extra money in your pocket anyway. So I think that's the case.
Are people more responsible in today's world with their spending habits in general, regardless of what time of year it is?
I think they are. I think living through 2008 and that recession, I think most people recognize coming out of that having a lot of credit card debt was not very good. I kind of equate it to a human being having a weak immune system. When you have a weak immune system and a disease comes along, you're going to get it. And when you have a lot of credit card debt and a disease comes along, i.e. a recession, you're going to pay the price. You're going to end up, having to maybe, file bankruptcy or lose your house or have some bills go into collections that doesn't do good for your credit score. So I think most Americans had learned that. I think the last 2 or 3 Christmases, you did see more purchases with cash than you saw with credit. But having said that, when people feel better, when there's an exuberance in their pocketbook, so to speak, I think they don't mind adding to their credit card debt because they feel like they can pay it off. They feel like they can afford whatever they want to buy because they all of a sudden in the last few months seen more money in their pocket at the end of the month.
Have people been using more credit than cash recently? You mentioned there was people were spending more in cash than in credit a couple of years ago. Oh, what about today?
I think the good feeling, the punch drunk feeling of being at the party and everything's so great. I think that has people spending a little bit more on credit this year than they have in the past because they feel like, oh, well, I can go out and put some on the credit card because I've got a little extra money in my pocket at the end of each month. Yeah.
Okay. So kind of lackadaisical thinking, I guess.
I think so. I do. I think you have an attitude of the consumer really. It depends on how they feel about their situation. And when they've got a 401k possibly at all-time high levels, and when they've got more money in their pocket because driving to work doesn't break them anymore, I think they feel good, they spend more, and they plan more. I mean, people are sitting down saying, well, I got this extra money. Should we go on spring break somewhere? Should we, instead of driving over here to this movie theater, we can drive over here to this one, which is nicer, and watch a movie there. It costs a little bit more to get there, but we've got the ability to do that because gas prices are where they are. So I think the exuberant feeling they have does lead to more spending.
And speaking of the gas prices, and there may be the opposite effect of people. They might be afraid to spend a little bit more because that price of gas could skyrocket at any point. Are there people who also who have that hesitation?
I think there are, of course, but I don't think there's a majority there. I think most people are kind of live by the moment, live by the month, paycheck to paycheck, and they say, look, I've got more, I'm going to spend it. And when the bad news comes back and gas prices go up, they just feel like, well, I know what to do in that situation, and I'll change my habits and go back then. At $4 a gallon, you're pretty tuned to change your habits because that's a pretty high number. And when it goes down to this level, and then let's say it goes back up to say $3, you do still feel like you're getting a better deal than you've gotten in the last 2 or 3 years at the high threes, mid threes.
And Clark, before we let you go, any projections for the new year when it comes to consumer spending, whether it'll go up or down? Any idea?
I think it'll go up. You know, you've always got your Christmas spending, then you've got your Valentine's Day spending, your Easter spending. You do a lot of spending around those holidays, and I think those events or those holidays, if you will, you'll see more spending this year than you did last year because of the gas price effect.
Clark Hodges, 1320 WILS and Fox News Radio financial strategist. Clark, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year to you. You're listening to the Tony Conley Morning Show. Rich Hurl filling in for Tony. More compelling talk radio, 1320 WILS and 1320WILS.com.